deal with the sharpness. Peace, peace. Salam, everybody. What's going on? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the link where I'm gonna be reading from. Just give me 1 second. Oh, I'm feeling awesome. Thank you for asking. How about y'all? How y'all feeling today, man? I feel amazing. I feel amazing. It's amazing to wake up to who you are as a Moorish American, and then to reestablish yourself, or to pull yourself up out of that pit, because we've been buried alive. We've been put buried alive. So it's amazing to me, man, how we could come from being dead and coming back into life, just like they say Jesus did, or Yeshua did after 3 days. So I'm about to switch the screen. So I inputted the link in the chat. All right. So the title of this is called the um Alien Act. So the link will bring you right here to this page. Of course, this is from Avalon Project, Yale.edu. If anyone got a problem with the sources is coming from Yale University. So if you got a problem with the information, go holler at Yale University. All right. Make sure I click the right one. Okay. So here we go. July 6, 1798. All right. Should be big enough for everyone to see. It should be. Let me see something. I don't know if I do it like that. Let me do it like this. Still don't like that. I'll go back to the original one. Yep. That works perfectly. Oh, Islam brother Tariq El Bey. So you travel, caught plane? Did you have any issues? It was all smooth? That's what's up. Yeah, please add that. I appreciate that, bro. Hey man, anybody like fezzes, you could just holler at I get my fezzes from villagehotshop.com, and that's only because I don't know any most personally that make fezzes. Um, so that's how I do it, and then I order my tassels separately. So I kind of like put them together. I got all time. I got this one, red one, even got an orange one, but I don't know about that orange one. I think I was being a little bit impulsive when I bought that one. But anyway, all right. So here we go. An act respecting alien enemies. All right. I want y'all to read closely. Section 1. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assemble, that whenever there shall be a declared war between the United States and any foreign nation or government, or any invasion or predatory incursion shall be perpetrated, attempted, or threatened against the territory of the United States by any foreign nation or government, and the President of the United States shall make public proclamation of the event, all natives, citizens, denizens, or subjects of the hostile nation or government, being males of the age of 14 years and upwards, who shall be within the United States and not actually naturalized. I'm going to pause right there for a second. Who are in the United States, they're within the United States and not actually naturalized. I'm going to keep reading. Hold on to that thought. Shall be liable to be apprehended, restrained, secured, and removed as alien enemies. And the President of the United States shall be, and he is hereby authorized in any event, as aforesaid by his proclamation thereof, or other public act, to direct the conduct to be observed on the part of the United States towards the aliens who shall become liable, as aforesaid, the manner and degree of the restraint to which they shall be subject, and in what cases and upon what security their residence shall be permitted, and to provide for the removal of those who, not being permitted to reside within the United States, shall refuse or neglect to depart therefrom, and to establish any other regulations which shall be found necessary in the premises and for the public safety, provided that aliens resident within the United States, who shall become liable as enemies in the manner aforesaid, and who shall not be chargeable with actual hostility or other crime against the public safety, shall be allowed for the recovery, disposal, and removal of their goods and effects, and for their departure, the full time which is or shall be stipulated by any treaty, where any shall have been between the United States and the hostile nation or government, of which they shall be natives, citizens, denizens, or subjects. And where no such treaty shall have existed, the President of the United States may ascertain and declare such reasonable time as may be consistent with the public safety and according to the dictates of humanity and national hospitality. That's just the first clause, right? I know it's deep. I'm going to break this shit down. The first thing that I brought to mention was those who shall be in the United States and not actually naturalized. So let me tell you what that means. Remember, I did a video a while back on naturalization, right? In order to truly be a United States citizen, you have to go through the entire naturalization process, meaning you have to apply for citizenship, and then you have to go before the court, and you have to verbally say and take an oath before witnesses. You know what I'm saying? Marshal, governor, mayor, and you got to take an oath to relinquish all allegiance to any foreign sovereigns, monarchs, presidents, whatever. And then you take an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. That is when you officially become a U.S. citizen. Other than that, you still have your mother nationality. You still have your allegiance to your mother country. So this is why we as Moors, all we simply must do is declare that we recognize that fact. So now, for those Moors who wish to be citizens of the United States and haven't actually gone through the naturalization process, you're in a very dangerous place, because this is what would be called trading with the enemy act, right? And we're not talking about the United States of America and General Congress Assemble, which is who we have a treaty with. That is the government we have a treaty with, the United States of America and General Congress Assemble and Morocco. We don't have a treaty with the United States. Okay, so you got to be able to see the difference. Now, far as this goes, so that means if you are black, African American, your whole life, don't recognize nothing. Don't even recognize that you're not that. You're just living your life. And you've never actually gone through the naturalization process. So how many people who look like us, right, indigenous peoples, can we say haven't gone through the naturalization process, but walk around every day with state IDs, do business in the Social Security, doing business in a slave in another man's name, slave name. So you are literally a walking, ticking time bomb because you're trading with the enemy. As a matter of fact, it's crazy because you are impostoring a United States citizen. So just because you have a state ID or a birth certificate doesn't mean you're a citizen. You actually got to go through the naturalization process. And going through the naturalization process, you know what that means? That means that's when you officially relinquish your allegiance to your mother country. Officially. Exactly. I never went through no naturalization process. So therefore that lets you know that I could never be a US citizen. Oh, but we're going to qualify that, right? Matter of fact, let me write this down so I don't lose my train of thought. Because I want to qualify everything that is being said. Because these are not my words. These are not my words. These are the words of the law. Where's that pen I just had? Good God, the grief. Boy, he was just here. Did you go back? Did you fall? That's okay. I'll grab another one. Oh, no. Right here. Bam. All right. So I don't want to lose train of thought, but Trading with the Enemies Act. So now, if you're not fully naturalized, if you haven't gone through the naturalization process, right, but you're Black African American, then you're committing a federal offense. You're committing fraud. You're impersonating a U.S. citizen, which means you're in a gray area. And the gray area is not the place you want to be in this day and age. In this day and age, either you're going to stand firm and maintain the allegiance you have to your mother country or your mother nationality, or you can relinquish that. You can relinquish that, or you can abandon that voluntarily and claim another nationality. It's your choice. It's your choice. But these are the implications of there's no middle ground. Either you are going to be yourself or be a U.S. citizen. And if you're going to be a U.S. citizen, be that all the way. But don't play the in-between game. Don't. It's dangerous. I'm laying it out right here why it's dangerous. All right? Section 2. And be it further enacted that after any proclamation shall be made as aforesaid, it shall be the duty of the several courts of the United States and of each state having criminal jurisdiction, and of the several judges and justices of the courts of the United States, and they shall be and are hereby respectively authorized upon complaint against any alien or alien enemies as aforesaid, who shall be resident and at large within such jurisdiction or district, to the danger of the public peace or safety, and contrary to the tenor or intent of such proclamation or other regulation, which the President of the United States shall and may establish in the premises, to cause such alien or aliens to be duly apprehended and convened before such court, judge or justice, and after a full examination and hearing on such complaint, the sufficient cause therefore appearing, shall and may order such alien or aliens to be removed out of the territory of the United States, or to give sureties. You know what sureties are, right? That's the fall guy. That's what U.S. citizens are. Or the people who claim to be U.S. citizens. They're the sureties. They're the fall guy. They're the ones taking the liability. Or to give sureties of their good behavior. Or to be otherwise restrained conformably to the proclamation and regulations which shall and may be established as aforesaid, and may imprison or otherwise secure such alien or aliens until the order which shall and may be made as aforesaid shall be performed. Section 3. And be it further enacted that it shall be the duty of the marshal of the district in which any alien enemy shall be apprehended, who by the President of the United States or by order of any court, judge, or justice as aforesaid, shall be required to depart, and to be removed as aforesaid, to provide therefore, and to execute such order, by himself or his deputy, or otherwise discreet person or persons to be employed by him, by causing a removal of such alien out of the territory of the United States, and for such removal the marshal shall have the warrant of the President of the United States, or of the court, judge, or justice ordering the same, as the case may be. Source, United States Statute at Large. Now, I'll pull up something else real quick. So here we go. So this right here is thank you, Abundance Child, by the way, putting this work in right here. Appreciate you. So right here is Article 13 of the Constitution, Amendment 13. Now, normally, if you pick up any constitutional book, they only got sections 1 and 2, and that's it. They don't tell you there's 18 other sections in here that were blocked out, right? But, you know, today's the day and age when everything that was hidden is coming into light. So I'm going to pull up section 12 right here. Okay. Why is it that we are not citizens of the United States? Section 12. The traffic in slaves with Africa is hereby forever prohibited on pain of death and the forfeiture of all rights. Forfeiture meaning abandonment. That's what forfeiture means. So the traffic or the trade in slaves with Africa is forever prohibited on the pain of death and the abandonment of all rights and property of persons engaged therein. And the descendants of Africans shall not, I repeat, and the descendants of Africans shall not be citizens. They shall not be citizens, y'all. You know why y'all shall not be citizens? Because y'all already citizens of something. Y'all already citizens of something. Okay. Just to bring this thing, right? We're going to bring this thing round wheel. So pull this up now. You know what? Let me go into the library for this. Oh, I don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. Already did that. Good. So right now we're in the SUNY University Library. I'm about to pull up my story. I'm gonna pull up. Let me see what I got here. I'm gonna pull this up right here. This is George Washington letter to the Sultan, right? Aloha, oha, from Hawaii. Peace. Oha. Don't that sound like Arabic to y'all? Oha, al marak, al maricanos. Yeah. All right. Letter from George Washington to Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Sultan of Morocco, City of New York, December 1st, 1789. Okay? Where's he writing from? New York. The corporate state of New York. Okay? Or I should say the city of New York. Pardon me. Great and magnanimous friend, since the date of the letter which the late Congress by their president addressed to your Imperial Majesty, so do you understand that we are the citizens of an imperial empire, an ancient imperial empire? The United States of America. You see how it says the United States of America and not just the United States? The United States of America have thought proper to change their government and institute a new one, agreeable to the Constitution, of which I have the honor herewith to enclose a copy. The time necessarily employed in the arduous task and the disarrangements occasioned by so great though peaceable a revolution will apologize and account for your Majesty's not having received those regularly advised marks of attention from the United States, which the friendship and magnanimity of your conduct toward them afforded reason to expect. So the reason why they have United States here, right? They have United States here and they have United States of America up here is because this is the de jure government. This is the de jure government that has a treaty with the Moorish Empire. This right here, the United States is the entity that is put it like this. DBA is the United States. Okay? That's the DBA. Which the friendship and magnanimity of your conduct toward them afforded reason to expect. The United States having unanimously appointed me to supreme executive authority in this nation. Not the United States of America, but the United States having unanimously appointed me to supreme executive authority in this nation. Your Majesty's letter of August 17, 1788, which by reason of the dissolution of the late government, right? Because they're taking on a new government, remain unanswered, has been delivered to me. I have also received the letters which your Imperial Majesty has been so kind as to write in favor of the United States to the Bashas of Tunis and Tripoli, and I present to you the sincere acknowledgments and thanks of the United States, the company, the business, because it's a treaty of what? Commerce, amity and commerce. United States for this important mark for your friendship to them. We greatly regret the hostile disposition of those regencies toward this nation, who have never injured them, is not to be removed on terms of our power to comply with. Within our territories there are no mines, whether of gold or silver, and this young nation, just recovering from the waste and dissolution of a long war, have not as yet had time to acquire riches by agriculture and commerce. But our soil is bountiful, and our people industrious, and we have reason to flatter ourselves that we shall gradually become useful to our friends. The encouragement which your majesty has been pleased generously to give to our commerce with your dominions. With whose dominion? The emperor's dominions. The emperor of what? The emperor of the Moorish Empire. What does dominion mean? Dominion. Noun. Sovereignty. Control. Man's attempt to establish dominion over nature. Synonyms. Supremacy. Ascendancy. Dominance. Domination. Superiority. Predominance. Preeminence. Hegemony. Authority. Mastery. Control. Command. Power. Sway. Rule. Government. Jurisdiction. Sovereignty. So wait a minute. Let's go back now. Let's go back. The encouragement which your majesty has been pleased generously to give to our commerce with your what? To you. So what did he give to their commerce? He gave sovereignty, he gave control, he gave supremacy, he gave ascendancy, he gave dominance, he gave domination, he gave superiority, he gave predominance, he gave preeminence, he gave hegemony, he gave authority, he gave mastery, he gave control, he gave command, he gave power, he gave sway, he gave rule, he gave government, he gave jurisdiction, he gave sovereignty. To what? To the commerce with his dominions, his jurisdiction, his authority. On behalf of who? The Moorish Empire. The punctuality with which you have caused the treaty with us to be observed, and the just and generous measures taken in the case of Captain Proctor, make a deep impression on the United States and confirm their respect for and attachment to. Attachment. They're attached. Not only do they respect us, but they're attached to our country. It gives me great pleasure to have the opportunity of assuring your majesty that while I remain at the head of this nation, I shall not cease to promote every measure that may conduce to the friendship and harmony which so happily subsists between your empire and them, and shall esteem myself happy in every occasion of convincing your majesty of the high sense which in common with the whole nation I entertain the magnanimity, wisdom, and benevolence of your majesty. May the Almighty bless your imperial majesty, our great and magnanimous friend, with his constant guidance and protection. So that lets you know the United States is under the constant guidance and protection of the Moorish Empire. So once again, I ask you, right? Are you going to be a U.S. citizen? And if you are going to be that, you better go through the naturalization process. All right? Or are you going to be yourself? Or are you going to be that which you always were? Right? Oh, let me put that in. There we go. All right, so understand that these are our dominions, regardless of the fact you see Washington, New York, Colorado, whatever. These are our dominions. We cannot forget that. And who's saying that these are our dominions? The founding father, one of the founding fathers that was appointed leader of that nation, George Washington. His own letter. He's the one speaking the truth about this being Morocco, this being our dominions, this being Moorish dominions, Moorish jurisdiction, Moorish authority, Moorish descendancy, Moorish supremacy. All right. Now, I'm going to pull up Resolution 75, y'all. Resolution 75. Now, understand, we have a treaty of peace and friendship with our empire and the United States of America. And the United States of America does business as the United States. Okay? That was the whole point of the treaty, y'all, commerce. So we can't forget about business. We can never forget about business, because as much as we are spiritual beings, business is also a part of how we express our spirituality, through commerce, through deeds, through works, through bearing fruit, and then enjoying the fruits of our labor. Okay? So, comprehending that, you understand, wherever we're at as Moorish Americans, we have a right to be protected and to do commerce with any state of the union. Not because they want to, it's because they don't have a choice in the matter. This is documented factual law. But let's go. Mr. Witkin, 1933, by the way, Legislative Journal, House, page 5759, resolution number 75. Mr. Witkin, Mr. Speaker, I desire at this time to call up resolution number 75, printer's number 1034. The resolution was read by the clerk as follows. Excuse me, y'all, give me 1 second. All right. The resolution was read by the clerk as follows. In the House of Representatives, April 17, 1933, many sons and daughters of that proud and handsome race which inspired the architecture of Northern Africa and carried into Spain the influence of its artistic temperaments have become citizens of this nation. In the city of Philadelphia, there exists a Moorish American society made up of Moors who have found here the end of their quest for a home and of the children of those who journeyed here from the plains of Morocco. This society has done much to bring about a thorough absorption by these people of those principles which are necessary to make them good American citizens. These Moorish Americans have since being here missed the use of the titles and name annexations that were so familiar at home, and which are used in accordance with the doctrines of the religious faith to which they are adherents, therefore be it. Resolved that this House commends the Moorish American Society of Philadelphia for the efficient service it has rendered the nation in bringing about a speedy and thorough Americanization of these former Moors, and that in accordance with the fullest right of religious independence guaranteed every citizen, we recognize also the right of these people to use the name affixes El or Ali or Bey or any other prefix or suffix to which they have heretofore been accustomed to use or which they may hereafter acquire the right to use. On the question, will the House adopt the resolution? It was adopted May 4th, 1933. All right. Yeah, print the important ones. See where we at. Okay, so this is a self-authenticating document. Okay, this stands as law as fact. It's a congressional record. So this is what affirms the fact that we have the right to do what we're doing, and we're supposed to be doing what we're doing. All right, we're supposed to be making a change and claiming back our nationality, going back to those things that take us back to our mother nation, our mother country. And mind you, just because they say Morocco, I don't want people thinking or getting confused with Morocco, the kingdom over there, which didn't come about until 1956, and their constitution wasn't ratified until 1962. Okay, so that's not the Morocco they're talking about in 1786. Okay, we need to make that very, very clear. Very clear. Okay, and also understanding that the entire landmass was one at one point. So just because there's water in between now doesn't mean that we're separating it. We all know that this is still Asia. That Northwest Africa or North Africa is really going deep into North America, West America, South America. You understand? This is why this is the Maghrib al-Aqsa, Morocco, the extreme west, or you would say sunset. That's what Maghrib means, sunset. What sun rises on the east, sets on the what? West. The Maghrib. The sun sets in the Maghrib. But anyway, so our dominions. This is why we're indigenous. Our dominions. Okay. So people really need to understand that this goes along. And then you ask the question, when would something like this happen? When would something like this happen? Check this out. No, I need to go there. Here we go. Trying to find it. I need to go to. This is one of the curriculum books I prepared. Make it that big. Okay, it's called The Understandings of Martial Law. All right. Right? I tell you. So, this is prepared by me. This is one of the documents at Suno University, the curriculum books. This is in the folder. This is in the books folder. All right, so just find this in the folder. If you're already a member, we're going to dig right into the King Alfred Rex Plan. Now, in the event of widespread and continuing and coordinated racial disturbances in the United States, King Alfred, at the discretion of the president, is to be put into action immediately. Participating federal agencies, National Security Council, Department of Justice, Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, Department of Defense, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Department of Interior. Participating state agencies, memo, national security councils. Even before 1954, when the Supreme Court of the United States of America declared unconstitutional separate educational and recreational facilities, racial unrest and discord had become very nearly a part of the American way of life. But that way of life was repugnant to most Americans since 1954. However, that unrest and discord have broken out into widespread violence, which increasingly have placed the peace and stability of the nation in dire jeopardy. This violence has resulted in the loss of life, limb, and property, and has cost the taxpayers of this nation billions of dollars. And the end is not yet in sight. This same violence has raised a tremendously grave question as to whether the races can ever live in peace with each other. Each passing month has brought new intelligence that despite new laws passed to alleviate the condition of the minority, despite new laws passed to alleviate the condition of the minority still is not satisfied. Demonstrations and rioting have become a part of the familiar scene. So, once again, you black African American, you a minority? Because they having issues with you, and they about up to here. They're about up to here with the minorities. And they got a plan put together for y'all called the King Alfred Rex Plan. If you choose to wear them shoes called Negro, Black, and Colored, then this is what them shoes come with. These are the latches them shoes come with. I'm reading this so I can let y'all see the connection between the acts in regards to alien enemies and the King Alfred Rex Plan, especially with people within the United States who have not gone through the naturalization process, but yet are claiming to be U.S. citizens. They got you. They got some of our own committing fraud too, y'all. All right. The minority. Under King Alfred, the nation has been divided into 10 regions. In case of emergency, minority members will be evacuated from the cities by federalized National Guard units, local and state police, and if necessary, by units of the regular armed forces using public and military transportation, and detained in nearby military installations until a further course of action has been decided. So these are the 10 regions here. Capital Region, Northeast, Southeast, Great Lakes, South Central, Deep South Region 2, Great Plains, Rocky Mountains. You got the Southwest, and you got the West Coast. The attempt will be made to seal off the Canadian and Mexican borders. Combined memo, Department of Justice, preliminary memo, FBI and CIA. There are 12 minority organizations and all are familiar to the 22 million. Dossiers have been compiled on the leaders of the organizations and can be studied in Washington. The material contained in many of the dossiers and our threat to reveal that material has considerably held back in check some of the leaders. Leaders who do not have such usable material in their dossiers have been approached to take government posts, mostly as ambassadors and primarily in African countries. The promise of these positions also has materially contributed to a temporary slowdown of minority activities. However, we do not expect these slowdown to be of long duration because these are always new and dissident elements joining these organizations with the potential power to replace the old leaders. All organizations and their leaders are under constant 24-hour surveillance. The organizations are the Black Muslims, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, Congress of Racial Equality, Uhuru Movement, Group of Advanced Leadership, Freedom Now Party, United Black Nationalists of America, the New Pan-African Movement, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the National Urban League, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Committee on Racial and Religious Progress. Note, at the appropriate time, and these are the organizations that are on the list, y'all. They're on the list. So let me ask you, on the list, did you see anything that said Moorish Empire? Or did you see anything that said Moorish Science Temple of America? No, no. They're not looking out for us because we are the jour. And we're not minority, right? It is necessary to use the minority leaders designated by the president. The minority leaders designated by the president, they're designated by the president, y'all. In much the same manner in which we use minority members who are agents with central and federal. So this is how you can see that Donald Trump and Kanye West make sense. Because Kanye West would be considered one of the so-called black leaders. When they talk about leaders, they're not talking about leaders for the old people, y'all. They're talking about leaders for the young, the youthful, the up and coming risers. That's what they're talking about the black leaders for. So people like Kanye West and people in that type of field and spotlight, those are the type of people or black leaders they're going to put in place because they don't want old ass recruits. They want new bloods, yo. But remember, they're designated by who? The president. Look at Kanye West and Trump. It is necessary to use the minority leaders designated by the president in much the same manner in which we use minority members who are agents with central and federal. And we cannot, until there is no alternative, reveal King Alfred in all its aspects. Minority members of Congress will be unseated at once. This move is not without precedent in American history. So just because you in Congress don't mean you safe either. Just because you Congress and you Negro, black, and colored, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. You guys can read this full document on your own. But I want to go to the main thing right here. Let's see here. Trying to find that part. As y'all can see, this would be a good read. I'm trying to find something really particular though. Let's see here. Just bear with me, y'all. Find this joint right here. Well, I'll tell you what, you can have your own form reading of this thing right here. But the portion I was trying to find was when it says that people of African descent, or the Negroes or the blacks, we're gonna take to the streets, and we're gonna be a formidable foe because we're tied to this continent by heritage. So the reason why they're getting the whole Alien Sedition Act prepared is because the United States colonial power, thank you, Brother Abdullah, United States colonial power is, how can I say this? The United States colonial power is doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're functioning right now, and they're conducting business. Now, the problem was they abandoned the office that we agreed to give them via the treaty. And so this is why the United States is considered categorized in the Trading with the Enemies Act. The United States is the enemy, y'all. I don't know if you knew that. United States of America is not the enemy. United States is the enemy. United States Corporation Company, to be exact. Okay? And matter of fact, let me pull that up since we here. Still in the library, y'all. United States Corporation Company. That'll be what? There you go. So this is the incorporation for the United States Corporation Company. There you go. This is file 715, 1925. Y'all can read that for yourself. Y'all can see what's up. A-9, Certificate of Incorporation of United States Corporation Company. Filed in the office of Secretary of State of the state of Florida. 15th day of July, 1925. Signed by Secretary of State. Book A, page 9. United States Corporation Company. All right, executive offices. 65 Cedar Street, New York City. So I should have an understanding of what we're dealing with. So when we say Trading with the Enemies Act, if you are Negro, Black, and colored, but really you're a Moor, you haven't claimed you're a Moor, so you still have allegiance to your mother country, but you're showing to the public that you have allegiance to something else. That is what you call fraud. Okay? And major violation of the Holy Covenant, which says to honor thy mother and thy father, that the days on the earth land may be long and plentiful. So obviously, these King Alfred Rex plans, the Lieber Code, Alien Sedition Act, Trading with the Enemy Act, these are all things put in place for people whose lives are not going to be long and plentiful, because obviously they're not going to be honoring their ancestors. They're not going to be honoring their mothers and their fathers. This is why they have these things in place, y'all. So divine law is the order of the day, and nationality falls right underneath the divine law. So if you're not proclaiming and declaring who you are to the world, and you're pretending to be something else, then you're off. And that doesn't take away from the fact that the several states, meaning the several states would be like Pennsylvania, Florida, New York, Illinois, Indiana. These are all considered the several states. So our treaty entitles us the right to contract with the states as we please. We can contract with the states as long as we're within the confinements of our treaty. As long as we're not violating anything within the treaty, we're good. We're good. So as long as we're good in the treaty, you know off rip we're good in the Constitution, because the Constitution is based off the treaty. So if we just stay in alignment with our treaty, we're automatically going to be in alignment with the Constitution. It's not like we got to be in alignment with the treaty and then we got to align with the Constitution. No, they're one and the same. They're attached. They're attached. So understand our treaty, you're automatically going to understand the Constitution. Automatically. Okay? So we have a right to contract as we please as Moors with these particular several states. Okay? Because the several states are republics. The state ofs is where you start getting into article, what's that? Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, dealing with the District of Columbia, 10 miles radius square. All right, that's where the state ofs come into play. That's where the United States is seeping in, the state ofs. But the state itself is a republic. And so within each republic, everyone has a right to associate. So you say you have mad churches in a state, or let's say in a county, you got a whole bunch of churches. Think of every church you see as a country, and think of all the people who are part of that particular church as the citizens of that country. And of course, the pastor would be the president. Then they got the vice president. That would be like what? They got the president, first lady, vice president, treasurer, etc., etc., right? Because there is no separation of church and state. The church is the state. The church is supposed to be your state of mind, because we got religious freedom. The church is supposed to be your state of mind. Your state of mind. So right now what's happening is people are declaring themselves to be Negro, blacks, and coloreds, right? They're thinking they was brought here off of ships in Africa. So what happens is they contract as minors, which is not legal and which is not lawful, but if they just put their signature there, it becomes a legal thing, right? But as a minor, now they're operating with state IDs, John Smith, right? State ID, Social Security, Black, African American, Hispanic, Latino. These are all colored phrases. None of these things are nationalities, and they get you caught up in this thing to where you think you're all right, but really you're trading with the enemy, because you don't actually have any allegiance to anybody. You don't have allegiance to the United States, nor do you have any allegiance to your mother country. So nobody want nothing to do with someone like that. Which is why they have things in place for people like that. They're called the FEMA camps. And then there's people who are actually not from this land at all. They got plans for those people too. They sending their ass back home. That's what we just read here. They're going to be sent home. Look. Let me see here. Look here. Provided that aliens resident within the United States, who shall become liable as enemies in the manner aforesaid, and who shall not be chargeable with actual hostility or other crime against the public safety, shall be allowed for the recovery, disposal, and removal of their goods and effects, and for their departure, the full time which is or shall be stipulated by any treaty. Now, if y'all read the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, I forgot which article, but it states that if any one of our two nations goes to war, we have 9 months. We have 9 months to gather all of our property, our goods, our estate, and get the hell up out of Dodge. And then, we come to an agreement of when we can come back, because we have the right of ingress and regress. So, but you see here, treaty is a big thing, man. The treaty is a big thing. It's like, yo, damn, I would have had your ass if it wasn't for that motherfucking treaty. And that's how it goes. Hey, what's up, Kenny?
Fine.
You up?
Mm-hmm.
You hungry?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Want some rice and beans?
Mm.
That's what we got, rice and beans. Yes, no?
Yes.
You sure?
Mm.
If you're not going to eat it, just say no.
Yes.
You going to eat it?
Mm.
Okay. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. Well, if you're from Indiana, just know there's a town in Indiana called Morocco. Okay. So once again, when I make statements like, "Yo, the Morocco, the kingdom of Morocco we talk about today was in 1956. The Empire of Morocco with a treaty lasting, we talking about 1786. Almost two. That's like over 200 years difference. Major difference. This is just to give more confirmation as to who we are and that we're moving properly and how we're supposed to be doing things through our treaty. Okay. Oh, your mom's not here. She went to a meeting at the Rainier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she should be back in a little bit.
Alright.
Meeting with Sisters DeBille. That's what wife should be doing. Doing our work. So we got this down packed, right? So this is what those who are claiming to be U.S. citizens but haven't actually gone through a naturalization process. You're in a very dangerous place. Once again, I love my people, and you got to make a decision. All right, either you're going to honor your ancestors and be who you are and remain true to your country of original allegiance, or you're going to abandon that, which you have a right. You have every right to abandon that. You have every right to abandon that and go and join and become a U.S. citizen. Nothing wrong with that. No judgment on anybody. Whatever you feel like you need to do is what you need to do. But just understand that once you do that, right, you no longer have protection from the Moorish Empire. I'm going to show you. This is one of my favorite docs right here. Expat. Oops. Wrong one. Alright. Say I know what I'm dealing with. Cornell University. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So bam. 1937. I'll bring that up. I feel like I went through that too fast. Bam. Cornell University, October 20th, 1937. My birthday is October 19, y'all. Crazy. So here we have House of Representatives, 59th Congress, second session, document number 326. Citizenship of the United States, expatriation and protection abroad. All right. So I'm going to speed forward a little bit because I already know the page I need. Feel like 451. It should be okay. We coming. Okay. Getting there. We getting there. Actually, I'll read this one afterwards. Nobody really read. I don't feel like anybody really sat down and read this portion about Mexico. I'll read that. I will read Mexico. Well, first, where we at? We almost here. We are almost here. Okay, 459. Boom. Here we go. Morocco. Now, I want y'all to understand. The title of this book is called Citizenship and Expatriation of the United States. So that means these countries are dealing with or have treaties with the United States, right? Because the United States is doing what? They're the commerce arm, or they're the DBA of the United States of America. So whenever you see a document that's talking about citizenship of the United States, comma, expatriation, and then you see Morocco or Mexico or Liberia, you got to understand that there's a connection. There's a connection, okay? There's a connection there between Morocco and the United States. And we read George Washington's letter earlier that the Sultan gave dominions, gave to the commerce the dominions. Okay? Now, there are strictly speaking, and we'll hear from Morocco, there are strictly speaking no Moroccan laws relating to citizenship of Moorish subjects in Morocco. There are strictly speaking no Moroccan laws relating to citizenship of Moorish subjects in Morocco. The fundamental laws of this non-Christian country are based entirely upon the Islamic code, no part of which treats of the subject of citizenship. There are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between the various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire. There's only one Moorish Empire, but there's many Christian countries. Y'all comprehend? Do y'all comprehend? Do y'all comprehend? So, Philadelphia or Pennsylvania is a Christian country. New York is a Christian country. Virginia is a Christian country. Nevada, California, right? These are all under the jurisdiction of Rome, y'all. Babylon. These are Christian countries. And those Christian countries came together and are doing business as the United States. But as a fundamental de jure government that needed recognition to be able to stand from our government, they're the United States of America, doing business as the United States. So, let me keep reading. By means of which citizenship in this country is defined, but as I understand from the above acknowledged instructions that it is not the desire of the department to call for a report upon such lines, I will therefore confine these remarks to general conditions existing, which may possibly be of some use in connection with the information desired. Citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure as Moorish subjects. Moorish subjects? You mean pertaining to Moors? Because maybe Moors have a connection with Morocco. Maybe. Maybe. So, being that we have a connection to Morocco, like I said, Moorish Empire. Now, I would therefore confine these remarks to general conditions existing, which may possibly be of some use in connection with the information desired. Citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure as Moorish subjects. Meaning, if you cannot prove foreign citizenship or foreign protection, you are considered ipso jure Moorish subject. 2 and 3. Now, Moorish subjects lost their nationality only by becoming naturalized in or protected by another country having treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. What are they stating there? One, like I said, if you naturalize, that is when you actually truly relinquish your allegiance to your Moorish Empire. Now, if you don't do that, you can also come under the protection. Now, those will be referencing those people who are Black and African Americans who have not gone through the naturalization process, but who are claiming to be U.S. citizens. Those people don't have any protections either. So therefore, the treaty is protecting those who stay true to it, those who have the heart to defend it. The treaty will have the power to defend you. But it's letting you know right there off drip that the United States has a connection to Morocco. Why? Because it is attached to the Moorish Empire. There is no United States of America without the Moorish Empire. So obviously, it just makes sense that you should see remnants of those ancient peoples, right? That not only fought on the Confederate side of the war, but also fought on the Union side of the war. There's a good and a bad with everything. And then put it like this, there's a good and a bad. Within the good, there's a good and a bad. Within the bad, there's a good and a bad. Did that make sense? And everything is good and bad. Within the good, there's a good and bad. Within the bad, there's a good and bad. Levels to this thing. All right? But we are Moorish subjects. We are Moorish subjects. And not that we're subject like someone is enslaving us. We're Moorish subjects because the same way how, I'm a subject to my mother. I'm a subject to my father. They birthed me. They created me. Born, raised me. Put principles inside of me. So I'm subject to them. I'm not a subject of them. I'm subject to them. Okay? They created me. So the same way, our mother nation, which is the Moorish Empire, we are subjects to the Moorish Empire. We have an obligation and we have duties to secure the bag for our economies, but then also to maintain those ancient customs and principles and rituals that made us who we are and pass those down to our children. Okay? So, once again, the only way to lose your nationality as a Moor is to simply relinquish it verbally, publicly, and claim an oath of allegiance to the United States. Yeah, all this is in the cipher. Okay? So understand. And then I want to pull up a case. Let me pull up this case. Let's go to PowerPoints. Oh, these are PowerPoints. Give me 1 second. Pull up the PowerPoint now. Let's pull up the PowerPoint. Alright, let me pull up this PowerPoint. And I'm gonna pull up another one. So I might pull up another one after that. Definitely appreciate everyone tuning in, just watching. You know, let's see here. All right. Boom. So now, let me find this joint real quick. Let's see here. I'm gonna find it, y'all. Give me 1 second. This one I'm definitely gonna find. It's pretty passport. There we go. There we go. We got to Immigration Nationality Act. With that, but see y'all. Let's see here. Getting there. Hold on. Seriously. There we go. Found it, y'all. Found it. For your patience. Thank you for your patience. All right. Now this is on page 76 of expatriation and citizenship. Get this back here. All right. I want you to understand how jurisdiction plays, and that jurisdiction can change. You can be on the same land. Like I could be in the same seat that I'm sitting in, and the jurisdiction can change based on what I do, based on what I say, based on how I act. The jurisdiction of this particular domicile can change based on my actions. Check this out. In the case of Jones versus McMasters, 1857, 20 How 8, Mr. Justice Nelson, in delivering the opinion of the court in a case involving the question of citizenship, said the plaintiff was born under the dominion of the Mexican Republic. There goes that word dominion again. So the plaintiff was born under the authority, under the jurisdiction, under the supremacy, under the ascendancy, okay, under the control of the Mexican Republic. In what afterwards became the state of Texas. So most people today go to Texas and they say, yo, I'm going to Texas. But before Texas was called Texas, that was the dominion of the Mexican Republic. That was Mexico. You see? So Texas is not really Texas. That's really Mexico. Give me 1 second. Hey. Almost. What's up? Yeah, almost 90 yet. Okay. So, oh shoot. Now, dominion. There goes the word dominion again, right? So we're talking about jurisdiction. So now this girl, I'm just gonna keep on reading, right? Self-explanatory. Self-explanatory. So the dominions of the Mexican Republic in what afterwards became the state of Texas. The same way how this originally here is the Maghreb al-Aqsa or Morocco and originally became the, or this is Moorish dominions. Hey, how'd it go?
Went great.
Nice. So these are Moorish dominions and then afterwards became
I'm gonna go check.
Washington. You see what I'm saying?
You should word after.
So
Yes, I'm gonna take
now,
this.
the plaintiff was born under the dominion of the Mexican Republic and has lived under it ever since her birth, she having been removed by her parents into the territory of Mexico proper before the declaration of Texan independence. And beyond all question, therefore, is a citizen of that government, owing it allegiance, which has never been interrupted or changed. There has been no act of hers or of any one competent to represent her or to determine her election, indicating an intention to throw off this allegiance and to attach herself to the new sovereignty of Texas. So she decided, yo, I'm not going to forfeit or abandon my original power for my own government. I don't give a fuck if this is Texas. This is still Mexico to me. And that's how she proceeded, right? Now, having been born and having always lived under the old government, the burden rested upon the defendants who claimed that she was a citizen of the new one to establish the fact of the change of her allegiance. Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand? If y'all understand, type something in the chat. I need to know y'all understanding what we're reading here. Like, I need to know. Do y'all comprehend what we're reading here? Do you understand that this is the same situation we are in right now? She's originally born in the dominions of Mexico. Today it's known as the State of Republic, but she never relinquished her citizenship to her mother country, which is Mexico. Never relinquished it. Never verbally said, hey, I relinquished this, or, never did the naturalization process to where she said, hey, I relinquish my Mexican citizenship to claim Texan citizenship. She never did that. She never went through that process. Therefore, she never officially released or abandoned her nationality. So she still has her nationality. So, check it. Right? Which has never been interrupted or changed. There has been no act of hers or anyone competent to represent her or to determine her election, indicating an intention to throw off this allegiance and to attach herself to the new sovereignty of Texas. Having been born and always lived under the old government, ain't that what we a part of, y'all? Don't we got our old government? Don't we got an old government? Now, she's claiming to still be attached to her old government. What's wrong with what she's doing? Ain't that the same thing we doing? But wait, because you gotta remember, Texas is part of the United States of America. Texas is part of the United States. So her old government, she never relinquished her nationality. So she still has a right to be judged and live according to the rules and laws of her old government. So under the old government, the burden rested upon the defendants who claimed that she was a citizen of the new one, to establish the fact of the change of her allegiance. So once again, the burden of proof is not on you to prove, hey, I'm a Moor, I'm this, I'm that. The burden of proof wasn't on her to say, I'm a Mexican, I was born in the old government. Da, 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 da. No, the burden of proof is on the person claiming that you're not who you say you are. So the burden of proof was on the defendants to prove that she is not who she says she is. So how would defendants try to prove that today? They'll probably pull out a birth certificate, they'll probably pull out a state ID, they'll probably pull out driver's license and say, that's you. Now guess what? If you really think that's you on that card with an expiration date, spelling in all caps, then you deserve to get what's coming to you. That's karma. But if you can see with your eye past the veil of illusion, then you see what's what. Then all you see is your old government. You don't even see the new government. New government what? Texas? I don't see Texas. This is Mexico. What are you talking about? My allegiance is to the Mexican Constitution. What you talking about? Constitution of Texas? No, I'm good. I'm good. So that's what we're doing now. Washington State, I'm good. I'm good, Washington State. I still maintaining my allegiance to the old government. Because you see, I never went through the naturalization process. So I have never from my mouth relinquished my Moorish nationality, my Moroccan nationality. Because you see, they put Morocco, Moroccan, and then Moorish. So obviously you can see those two terms are interchangeable. But people want to make a big deal. Oh, Moroccan, Moorish, Morocco, Al-Moroccan, Moorish Empire. All one and the same. Stop with the semantics. So, that's right. You tell them you are a Moor, or you tell them you are Moroccan, since that's what they comprehend, right? We got to speak to their level because they've been brainwashed, according to the 103 facts about the Black Indian and Western Hemisphere. The society's been brainwashed. So they don't even know anything about no ancient empire, ancient government, right? That's why we are part of the very small group of people who function like this, because if everyone was like this, there'd be no problems in the world. You comprehend that? I mean, there'd be problems, but not the type of economic, financial, social problems that we deal with today. There wouldn't be no type of problems. You know what I'm saying? So let me keep reading that. So officially what I'm saying is, if you know who you are and you are going according to Resolution 75 and you know thyself, then you know about the laws and customary laws of your old government, and you know that these dominions, this is Moorish dominions, and that we function according to Islamism or Islam, the Islamic law, then we don't need to recognize the United States of America. What? We recognize them. They're showing appreciation by giving us the right of entitlement to do commerce wherever we go in any one of the so-called states, the several states. We can do that. We have a right to do that. Why? Because they're doing business on our dominions. Well, what about that can't be comprehended? They're doing business on our dominions. It's kind of like, yo, if I'm staying at your house for a couple of days and I smoke, right? So let's say I'm in your house for a couple of days and I bring some Zeb. You know what I'm saying? I bring some cannabis with me. Now you allowing me to stay in you're granting me permission to stay or reside in your domicile or under the jurisdiction of your dominions. So how could I not have that? And if you partake in that as well, how could I not share? Like if you were to come and ask me, I'd be like, nah, man, this is for me. I don't want to share. But in the same token, you're sharing your space with me. You're allowing me to reside underneath your dominions. You see what I'm saying? So how could I not want to share what I have when you're already sharing all you got with me? So it's the same thing. Okay? So this is why in the letter of George Washington, he's stating that the United States has respect for and attachment to His Imperial Majesty, and the Moorish Empire, because that's what it is. The United States is attached to us. They can't stand on alone. They're attached. That's why when you look at the one notes, the one note, the seal on the back, you got the pyramid, you got the eagle. In the middle, it says one, but you got two seals on there, but it says one in the middle, because it's letting you know. It's letting you know the United States of America cannot exist without the Moorish Empire. Therefore, you should see some remnants of that old government from time to time in the form of us, because only we can operate and function with that treaty. You understand? In the way we need to operate for our protection, because we don't have to be compelled to associate or assimilate or be arbitrarily deprived of our nationality. Can't do that. All right. So you always need to comprehend that the burden of proof is never on you to prove who you are. The burden of proof is on someone else if they claiming that you're not. So therefore, the moment you may claim that you are more, you should conduct yourself as is. That is law, because it is law. And if someone has anything otherwise to say, that they can bring their case before a court of law. You understand? And you let people know, all right, you want to take that risk? Then just know that it's going to come with a lawsuit for defamation of my character. Because I'm not just going to sit there and allow you to disrespect my character and my legacy and not have any consequences or repercussions for that. Religious freedom is a very big thing. So don't think for a second that people don't use their religious right to protect themselves and their shit. All right, nothing. A good name is better than gold, yo. So don't let no one mess with your name, not your good name, never. Okay. So once again, I'm a Moor. No, you're not. Prove it. Mr. Koo, do you have a response? Do you have anything to say? Nope. I got nothing to say, Judge. Burden of proof is on the defendant to make claim that I am not who I say I am. However, for the record, I do state that upon failure to provide proof that I am not who I claim I am, I'll be countersuing the defendant for defamation of my character. You see how that goes? You don't gotta say it like how I say it, but that's the general mindset. No one can tell you you're not who you say you are. And if they try to, they taking a risk. So that means they better be sure that you're not who you say you are. Now, how can somebody be sure that you're not who you say you are? Especially when there's millions of historical documents, archaeological research, facts, congressional records, books, PowerPoints, videos, everything that speaks to who you are and where you come from. So you don't need to just be yourself. We just finished reading Resolution 75. I didn't even go into the Zodiac Constitution. We already did a video a few days back about the treaty. These are all congressional records. They're documented facts. What do we got to defend? The law don't need to be defended. They just need to verify that we're in alignment with the law. That's it. Once we're in alignment, ease off. That's it. Okay? So understanding that, understanding and overstanding that the burden of proof is never on you to prove who you are. You're supposed to be moving as if you are who you are, because you are who you are. You see what I'm saying? You damn right Trump has been passing religious protection laws, because for one, Trump is working on both sides of the coin. Two, he's a Republican, so he does have some type of cognitive resonance with the Constitution. And three, he understands that religion is what protects property, and that in law, religion that he's talking about is dealing with trust. All right. And if you look at a government is run by a mandate or trusteeship. Okay. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Resolution 75. And I wouldn't even say what I would get, and I will be doing this. Order them from the Library of Congress. Order an initial copy. Self-substantiating evidence. And you take that everywhere you go. You take your treaty, which is in the Library of Congress. Order a copy of that, because that's what Sunel's going to be doing. We're going to be ordering Resolution 75 and the Treaty of Peace and Friendship from the Library of Congress, because we should. That's our story. So why not have the official records? Why not? You see what I'm saying? That's how we affirm and reaffirm, oh yeah, this person is this. Because if I wasn't that, why would I have this in my possession? You see what I'm saying? If it doesn't speak to me, if I don't resonate with it. So keep going. Now, here we go. To establish the fact of the change of her allegiance. The facts set up in the plea prove the contrary. According to these, the plaintiff was 19 years old when this suit was commenced, and between 22 and 23 years when the plea was put into the jurisdiction. If she was competent to make an election while a minor, but after she had arrived at mature years, as to the government to which she would owe allegiance, the presumption upon the facts is that she has made it in favor of the one under which she has lived since her birth. If she was incompetent to make it during her minority, then the allegiance due at her birth continued and existed at the time of the commencement of the suit. What is that saying? That's saying that whether or not in her stage of minority, right, her stage of being mentally incompetent, whether she was aware of it or not, whether she was aware that Texas wasn't always Texas, right? Whether she was aware of that or not, she could have operated incompetently, and through her ignorance, she would still be protected underneath her mother country because she never physically or through her actions relinquished that. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, minors can't contract. That's why they got our parents, our mother and our father, to contract on our behalf, because the baby is subject to the mother and the father. So therefore, the mother and the father have the control, they have the dominion, they have the authority, they have the jurisdiction, they have the supremacy, they have the ascendancy, right, to sign on behalf of you, which is the goods, according to how they do things in commerce, right? We're considered goods because the mom's at birth, delivery room, yada, 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 right? So we're the goods. You see what I'm saying? So due to that fact, that's the only reason how our citizenship got relinquished and our protection got messed with. You see what I'm saying? But other than that, if our parents knew that they were Moors and that they did things properly, we could have lived life and not known nothing. But we would always been protected underneath our laws. And that's what this Supreme Court case here states. Okay? So I use this so we can see that our situation is no different. We're citizens of the old government, so we're claiming the old government. Okay? So we got to be a part of that. For real, for real. We can't be sugarcoating it. Or we can't be faking it. One more team. Let's see here. You know what? That's a sign for me. My brain's pretty much emptied out. I'm going to leave it at here. I'm going to leave it here with y'all family. Was a very, very good build. Once again, go back to the beginning, and this is all relating back to what we're talking about as far as enact respecting alien enemies. You know, either you're going to be trading with the enemy or you're going to be trading with a de jure government, from de jure government to de jure government. So, like I said, if you fully haven't gone through the naturalization process, then you are not a U.S. citizen. But if you have a state ID and you identify yourself to the world as Negro, Black, and Colored, then you are impersonating a U.S. citizen. Okay, and they got a place for you. So keep that in mind, yo. Honestly, I know that the Green Fez represents public minister. All right, someone who pretty much represents their organization when it comes to anything dealing with the public. Also, I like green because I'm a Libra. My planet is Venus, and Venus is really Venus is really melanated, but once the oxygen hits the copper, it turns green. So I like green for that purpose too. That's why I rock the green. Anyway, we all green people. So love y'all, family. Peace. I hope this bill was inspirational. Hope it brought some clarity, and we'll be coming with some more bills. All right. And also, if you wish to become a private member of Sunel University, you can email me. I'll put the email in the link at suneluniversity@gmail.com, and we can go from there. Also, if you are in need of declaring your nationality, you're looking to get mentorship so that you can understand and pass this information down to those around you, you can holler at me too. I do offer nationality and trust mentorship. You can email me, same place, suneluniversity@gmail.com, and we'll go from there. Islam family, love y'all. And for those who are members Sunel, I will see y'all tomorrow on the conference call. All right, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. All right, thank y'all. Love y'all. Peace.
It's okay.
You need to give her some freaking space, man.
Whoa.